Good morning. It's the beginning of November, and here I am with another Creative You knitting and crocheting podcast. It's a quickie without a lesson involved because I have so much to show. I'm at my yarn shop this morning. That's the front window behind us, and I'm going to get right to it and show you all these things that are finished and a lot of felting. So we'll start out with the hats. I have a yarn called Karaoke. It was a Southwest Trading Company yarn. They went under SWTS. I wanted to see how this would knit up. This is just a standard beanie. Knit one, purl one. I put this baby yarn I had on the inside and it did crazy things. So the hat is reversible. It could be used either way. But, well, take a walk on the wild side, baby. I did a hat on the Addy knitting machine, and I thought that this yarn was a chunky, but it was actually a super bulky, very difficult to work with, and it created this ridge. This isn't a fold down. It just created a ridge, so whatever. It's a big roomy hat. I'm getting ready to mail to Warm Up America. I made flowers for the hats, but I think I forgot them this morning. Knitting, Find Your Way Beanie, done with a super bulky yarn, not with a it's not color work, it's slip stitch. Now, I messed up here, and I can tell. I had enough yarn left over that I did the reverse, and this one is much better. This is Ella Ray Lush Merino and Mirasol Usha, which means soft. It is a fairly quick project, and I think will really look cute with a beanie on the top. And I'd like to make some more because it was fun. It's done on a US 15 needle. The pattern is by Mandy Coffeen. Holly made some. Holly comes to the shop, and I thought I brought hers, but I can't. I think I left a bag at home. I tried to grab everything. Last time I showed the Mirrored Ivy beanie by Courtney McLeiland with Ella Ray Superwash Classic and a concept merino that goes from like a tan to a green. I did another one in the same yarn. It did start to change colors. I don't know if you can see it. And I got brown. And I got brown up there. But I really like this pattern a lot. You have to purchase it off Ravelry. It's 3 rows of cable and then 4 rows of just knit 4 purl 1. The last time, instead of casting on 100, I cast on 90 with the same US 7 and then added some stitches before I did the cable. This time I went down to 86 for a little bit of a snugger fit. And then you do a setup row, and I added 14. I also maintain the purl stitches at the end, which the pattern doesn't have you do, but I think it's a nicer look than just switching to stockinette stitch. So that's what it would look like with pom-pom on the Mirrored Ivy beanie. And actually, once you get the pattern down, it goes pretty fast. I found an unfinished whip in a bag, and one of those things on Ravelry, pattern no longer available, has this cabled stitch going down the side, which is unique. It, you know, oh, it has points in one section, I guess, because here's the pattern. This is a yarn called Brooklyn, Trendsetter Brooklyn. It's very soft. So this is something I'll be working to finish. It's called the Jagged Little Scarf by Rihanna McLeiland. Don't know how you would get the pattern at this point, although I have it. Oh, here's the bag I forgot. Thought I forgot. Yay. Wow. All of a sudden, it's like Christmas. Alrighty, here we go. There is a pattern called Wild Cherry by Stick Chick Knit. I stayed up a lot of the night. Here it is. It has the points. I didn't work in the ends because I'm going to block it first and then work in the ends. It was a 16, I think, 12 row repeat or something by Melissa Goodell. I use my patterns as worksheets. One thing I would say, the setup row is on top of the pattern. I wish the pattern row was on top of because I would find myself going to the setup row. It'll say like work so many stitches and then work the lace. And I ripped out a lot. Here's the back picture. If you want to make it bigger, you can do more. I had 2 50-gram balls and I was able to finish with a little bit of yarn left. You know, when I'm doing projects for the shop, I'm not trying to get people to buy another ball of yarn. I'm trying to think of what would be in my customer's budget. Okay. Moving on. A little crochet here. When you own a yarn shop, there are yarns that just sit, and so you use them up. As soon as you use them, people love them. But I had this Katia Toucan cotton yarn and this Crystal Palace cotton polyester yarn, and I decided to put them together. I have this little cartoon on my bathroom wall with 2 balls of yarn sitting on a park bench and says, "No plying on the first date." So I just made a standard table mat. I'm going to give it as a gift. Look how pretty these 2 yarns are together. And I mean, I don't even think it really shows the vibrancy of the colors. I just did the standard crochet circle increases, and then I decided to make a pumpkin. Now this pumpkin is a lumpy pumpkin. I stuffed it with stuff I had. I found this. I think it was the start of a hat, but it was too loose, too floppy. Man, I stuffed that in there. If you've ever made a pumpkin or a stuffy, it can take an incredible amount of fiber fill because you want it to be really full. But now I'm working to take yarn and pull it tight to make the indents of the pumpkin. Having a hard time doing it because I can't go straight down because I have that bunched up crochet in there. Whoa. So what else for crochet is I have this book for sale at the shop. So I wanted to make something out of it. And at first I started with this. Now this says quick and simple. It's not simple. You start out with this very tight stitch, which is a linked double crochet, and it got really tight, and I thought, I'd like to do it later. Bigger hook, different yarn. I had a cotton blend. So I decided to do this. It's called Fallen Leaves Shawlette. And it's my project on the shop table. And I try to do the 8-row repeat every day. And it is growing. There are my leaves. This is all double crochet. And this is Louisa Harding Patura, which is a bamboo wool blend in a fingering weight. I was thinking, would there be a way to carry the yarn and do the leaves in a solid color? But I don't know how much work that would be. I'm not sure. I also have a project on the table. It's out of a book. It's going to be a shrug. I need to get, it's very pretty. This is Katia Aztecta yarn. I need 36 inches to go from arm to arm, but I'm short, I'm a petite, so I'm thinking maybe 33. This is what I have left of my first 100-gram ball. Today at the shop, we're going to do a knit along for the Maya necklace with this beautiful sparkly yarn called Stella. You load all the beads on and then it's just 3 rows. So I'll have that to show you later. And I know I'm rushing, but I'm trying to show you everything before I have to open the shop. Many moons ago, I showed you something called Rothko coasters by Patricia Hart. You knit a tube. You start out with a solid and end with that solid because that is going to get cut off. But that keeps your project. This felted beautifully. So I was up last night felting because there was a project due today. So you knit or crochet your items with big needles. It's a big thing. And then you need 3 things. You need very hot water, you need detergent, and you need agitation. The problem is a lot of modern day washing machines don't have agitation. This felted beautifully. The first load I did, I forgot the detergent. Well, I restarted it, and it's now like 1:30 in the morning. And I'd been upstairs with my husband, and I'd run down because purses with handles can get felted together, get messed up. And I realized our water heater must be set low because the water wasn't really that hot. So I started making pans of boiling water and pouring them in, but this felted right away. I wanted to bring the rotary cutter today and cut. This is going to be beautiful coasters. So you cut off the top and you cut off the ends, and I should get, I think, 6 coasters. But isn't this beautiful? Noro Crayon. Crayon means crayon. I got 2 of these done with 1 skein, and it's already dry. So what else did I needle felt? Boy, what a mess and what an ordeal it was. I had dryer balls and I don't see them. Maybe I did forget a bag. The dryer balls were big and bulky. You take knee-high pantyhose or an au pair pantyhose. You put the dryer ball in, you knot it, put the next one in, knot it. The problem was the pocketbook handles kept getting all, the first time I opened the washer, here's the project that was important, and I'm going to sit it out because it's still wet. This was made, the Holly made this as a commission. This was made from a book called Personalities. she used a double strand of Jody Long Adina Mayo yarn, and then I think Love Wool, but it is really shaggy. And if the lady that she's making it for likes that, okay. If not, we can shave it and make it smooth like the Curion. Every time I open the washing machine, these handles were all caught up with these pantyhose dryer balls. So I Googled, and it said take plastic, put it between your handles. So I had a bunch of bubble wrap, put the bubble wrap between the handles, tied it off, opened the washer 15 minutes later, and the bubble wrap, even though I tied it tightly, it was all off. So that is that. But then I had a crocheted purse that I had in a bag somewhere. I'm looking for my pattern and I don't see it. It's called, I think, Crocheted Drawstring Bag. Felted Drawstring Bag by Mary Ann Collins. Collins with one L. And even though she said it was going to felt down to 10 inches, I was really shocked. There's the nice bottom. It has a nice kind of flat bottom. I was actually shocked by how small it was. It felted beautifully. This is Plymouth Galway yarn. You do 2 balls of the main color, but I had at least half a ball left. This is the pattern. I saw this floating around I had this in a pillowcase, Tatcha. Saw this floating around and I almost threw it away. Well, it's my drawstring. So I'm going to put a little bead on there. My drawstring holes are maintained. They did not felt shut. They're right there. It's actually 4 of them. So I think that will be really cute. This is still damp. I had a towel in it overnight and the towel is completely soaked. I thought I would do a real quick segment on how to choose colors. Now this is actually a purple, a lilac, but I grabbed a bunch of yarn. So let's say this is going to be our main color. This yarn was called Wool Pack. If this is going to be our main color, I have to think about this because I think it's going to show dirt easily. It would be the bottom. So maybe I don't want that as the main color. But I grabbed a bunch of colors. This is all Plymouth Galway. That's a Lana Law from Brown Sheep and another one. When you look at colors, you can have a dark, a light, and a medium, but I think these might be both medium. If you take a picture with your camera and put it on black and white, and these look the same, then unless they're separated by something bright, you probably want something different. These 2 colors, I think, would be the same value. If you took a picture, I think they would look the same. This is a little bit lighter, but this is not dark like it shows. This is like a butterscotch. That might work. If I throw in the Pacific Blue, this is going to look gray up against other colors. So you have to be prepared for what is beside will change the color. I could do these 2 and then maybe a cream. But that's what you have to think about. If you're not sure, you can do a small piece and felt it and see. Holly was going to felt that pocketbook in a sink with hot water and a plunger. And I'm like, no, I'll do it. These are the dryer balls. So I just took wool, unsold wool, and put them, wrapped them in a ball. Now you can get a wool core, like I guess like the stuff needle felters use, and but they're remarkably light once they're made. Fabric softener tends to be toxic. It's not good for you at all, and little children will just reek of fabric softener. This, you don't need fabric softener. You put a couple drops of essential oil, even 1 drop, put it in your dryer. The more balls you have in your dryer, it's like a juggler in there. You'll hear them bang, 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 bang. Separates the clothing and lets more heat in there. And so you actually need less dryer time and you will save money. Woohoo! All right. I don't see the crocheted flowers, so I'll do that the next time. I try to talk about essential oils just a little bit. Oh, this was one more little phone case I made. So I have to get the button. It felted nicely. You had to tack it down, so I took all that out. There was one pocketbook that I just trashed. It had a handle like that with the slit in the middle, and it just felted all crooked. And it, once it's felted, it's felted. I couldn't correct it, so I just said bye-bye. So outside the shop, we have an uneven sidewalk. I tried to get it fixed. It didn't hold. All these weeds come up, and I'm out there every week pulling these weeds. So I found a weed killer recipe, and you take Castile soap. This is a great soap because it is so multi-purpose. You dilute it. I mean, 1 small squirt. You can use it for laundry, mop the floor, wash the dog, wash your fruits and vegetables, all-purpose cleaner, spray the plants. You can use it as shaving cream. So I take just 1 ounce and 1/3. This is 32 ounces, so not much. 14 ounces of distilled white vinegar, 3 drops of clove oil, 3 drops of cinnamon, 3 drops of wintergreen, 3 drops of orange. You can even mix up some of the pleasant ones like orange or peppermint in a spray bottle with water, and even spray your sheets. You mix that up and spray it on the weeds. And it says, do not put this on anything that you do not want to kill, because it will kill it. So there we go. I wanted to show you all these things while they were fresh. And if you have any questions, please comment. Tell me what you're making, what you're doing. God bless you. Keep the faith. Shine, baby, shine. And I'll see you maybe even next week.